Ladies and gentlemen, I am SidAlpha. It's getting very close to that time of year again, the time that many gamers have saved up for in order to make the absolute most of their purchases, the Steam Summer Sale. The time of year when many games are sold for up to 90% off. For many gamers, the Steam Summer Sale is better than Christmas, as it affords them the opportunity to finally pick up the games that they might not be able to have otherwise afforded. The reason for that is that, as a hobby, video games are a fairly expensive form of entertainment. Few gamers know better exactly how expensive than the fans of the games developed and produced by Paradox Interactive. Games like the Crusader Kings series, Europa Universalis, and Stellaris, to name but a few. Paradox Interactive, as both a developer and a publisher, have been known to release such vast quantities of DLC for their games that I can scarcely believe it. Europa Universalis 4 comes with 42 DLC packs. Crusader Kings 2 comes with a staggering 61 packages of DLC. It's reached such ludicrous levels with the sheer quantity of DLC that to purchase the complete game bundle, which grants you a 15% discount, you would still to this day be paying well over $200. $256 for Crusader Kings and $254 for Europa Universalis 4, to put a finer point on it. It's also worth noting before we continue, as it is extremely pertinent to the topic at hand, that these are not new games by any means. Europa Universalis 4 was released in August 2013, and Crusader Kings 2 was released even earlier in February of 2012. Indeed, Paradox Interactive has been so proud of these years-old games that the price on them has never come down. Typically, depreciation affects even video games over time as their viability and visibility diminishes. This is apparently not true of Paradox Interactive titles. Indeed, in May of this year, a great many people found the price of these games and their DLC packages to have actually gone up. Yes, these years-old games with their oceans of DLC have seen their prices raised in recent days. Many people, at first justifiably so, believe that this may have been a form of false discounts being instituted by Paradox Interactive, inflating their base price so the discount during the summer sale would still look to be a decent percentage when in fact it would balance out. However, there were additional reports that the prices have gone up on GOG as well. Now, taking that into consideration, it seems that this was not a move in preparation for the Steam Summer Sale as many had at first believed. It seems that Paradox Interactive have in fact increased the price of nearly every game in their catalog. In the Paradox Interactive forums, one of the admins had the following to say: "As you have noticed, prices for our products have increased in certain regions around the globe, and this is something we've intentionally done. The reason for this is to make our prices match the purchasing power of those areas, as well as create a more equal price point for our products across the globe. Our prices have remained pretty much the same for several years, and it's only natural for us to re-evaluate price points at regular intervals based on the strength of various currencies, fluctuations in world markets, and many other factors. This is something that all publishers do, and we are no exception. Sadly, this means that the price has gone up for certain regions, and whilst this is something we'd like to avoid, it's necessary to keep our price point more in line with our other markets. We sincerely apologize for any frustration this may have caused and hope you understand why we're doing this." And I think I can safely say on behalf of all of the people out there, we know full well why Paradox Interactive decided to do this. Greed. Pure and simple greed. For many of you, what I'm about to say will come as absolutely no surprise, but to the decision makers at Paradox, this is something that they fail to grasp even at the most basic, fundamental level. Just because a game is classified as digital goods does not mean it doesn't depreciate. Games very much do depreciate over time. However, years later, these Paradox games still cost every bit as much as they did the day they were released, now even more so in some countries. By way of comparison, let's look at some AAA games that were released in 2013, the same year Europa Universalis 4 was released. Well, there was Assassin's Creed Black Flag, on launch $60, today $20. If you want to buy the game with all of its DLC, it's $50, which is still $10 less than the standard edition of the game at launch with no DLC. Secondly, we have Saints Row 4, $15. Battlefield 4, removing its current sale price, $20. I could keep going. It seems the only game from last year that I looked up that did not go down in price was Grand Theft Auto 5, which, given recent actions by Take-Two and Rockstar's complete lack of action, their blatant greed have been well advertised in recent days. And never in all of my years of gaming, never have I heard of a games company raising their prices, especially not on 4- and 5-year-old titles. Only natural to reevaluate your prices? Well, Paradox was right about one thing. Games companies do re-evaluate their prices very regularly. However, the difference between Paradox Interactive and the rest of the games industry is that the others evaluate how much to lower their prices by, whereas Paradox tries to figure out how much they can get away with raising their prices. This is a puzzling move, to be honest. One would expect that if word got out to the wider gaming community, then their sales would suffer far more over this action than if they would simply leave well enough alone. Their prices were already ludicrous when it comes to their DLC, and this on top of it is just disgusting. As a result of this, unless something changes, I do not believe I can in good conscience support any of their future titles. It will take some serious thought, but if a company can be so willing to act in such a fashion, do they really deserve your money or your time? Well, that is a decision that each of you will have to make for yourselves, just as I will. But while you're taking some time to consider it, perhaps let that mouse cursor wander down and click the like and most certainly that share button. Let others know what Paradox has been up to. If you're new to the channel, then please do subscribe if you would like to hear more. Anyways, links to my Patreon, Steam Curator page, and social media are down in the description below, as well as my Twitch channel. Please do avail yourself of them if you would like. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I am SidAlpha, and I'll see you next time.